morning from Kamakura, Japan. On this Sunday, kind of cloudy, but pleasantly cool, 22 degrees Celsius. So it looks like it's going to be a nice day today. It should be rather cool with all of this cloud cover. So we should have a nice day after all. And Spunky's out. Good morning, Spunky. How are you? Spunky, say hello to everybody. Spunky. You don't do this to me. Hey. Alrighty, I moved the tower over. It was getting over here. I think it was just getting a little bit too much of the late morning, afternoon sun. So I moved it over here to make it easier to come out from the kitchen and snip some things off, especially on rainy days. So, yeah, the trumpet bush is back in action. I'm liking that. Looks really good. The cilantro is out of the sunlight, direct sunlight, in the shade. That should be doing okay. The begonia is looking pretty as well. And yeah, not a whole lot of action on the ajisai, the hydrangea, but I'm liking it so far. I wonder how the strawberries are doing. Let's take a peek and see. Quick peek. No, I don't see much action at all. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I do see something. We'll come back for that. We'll take a look at that later. Moving on, what do we have here? Let me look at some of the upper growth here on the tomatoes. Yeah, I'm going to have to do some more twining here. You can see they're just growing quite nicely, actually. I like that. They're growing quite tall. And lots of flowers. That's good. So I'll have to fight the birds for them. But the ones down here, these are mine. Yeah. Still no ripening yet. But everything looks pretty good. You can see in here we've got some growth going as well. The inner row, let's take a peek in there. A little hard to see in there. Maybe I'll come down lower. Yeah, you can see the inner row is doing quite well. Let's see, how are the string beans doing? I can see it needs some watering. We'll do that. No flowers yet, but right around the corner, I think. And the zucchini, how are we doing here? Looks good. They're growing nice and strong. Let's come in for a closer look. Yeah, you can see down in there. Yeah, I think we see a flower forming down there on the right-hand side. That's good. And how are the cucumbers? A little bit hard to see. So let me move some of this stuff here. And let's take a peek inside. See what we can see here. Nothing ready just yet. Give this a good watering as well. So in the coming week we should have some more cucumbers. And hopefully in the coming week we'll have some ripe tomatoes. Here's the disco ball that I put up. We had a windy day yesterday and I was lying on the couch inside in the living room, and this was working. I could see the reflections off of this bulb coming into the house, into the living room. Flashes of light coming into the living room. So it does work. I think I'm still going to have to fasten this here, something like this, just to keep the crow's beaks out of there. Looks good. Now here's one here. You see that? A little bit curled. But that'll be fine. I'm not worried about the curled ones. And maybe you can see that tomato there. Yeah. See if I can get it closer. Yeah, there we go. See that tomato there? That's getting big. And I think the tomatoes were mislabeled when I bought them. These are not what the label says they should be. I'll show you here. This is what the label says they are. Orange, it says there. Orange mini. But that doesn't look like a mini to me. And the others are Eiko. These are plum cherries. Plum tomatoes. So, a bit of mislabeling, but that's all right. That's all right. Tomatoes are tomatoes. They'll go good in a salad, whether they're cherry or the more fuller, plumper variety. Okay. Let's go down to the lower level and see what we have there. Before we go down, I want to check quickly on the radishes. See them there. Not quite ready. Maybe in the coming week I'll pick a few. Everything else is looking good. The sage, of course the mint. I'm going to clip some of this mint this morning. Blueberries. Yeah, they're growing fantastically. Here's that volunteer tomato plant, doing well. And the twins are doing quite well too. Here's another volunteer. And these volunteers. And over here as well. Yeah, see this has come out. I'm going to leave it be. I'll give it another stake. Yeah, I don't mind that so much. This one is growing really nicely, very uniformly growing. So, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to pull this back. I can just pinch these together with some twist ties or something, just to keep the crow's beaks out of there. Let's see. The zucchini and peppers are doing well. Something's chewing the leaves of the zucchini, but I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, that's a very nice eggplant coming along there. That's the first one of the season. I don't see any more yet, but that's all right. There'll be more to come. It's early yet. Yeah, you can see a cluster of 3 tomatoes there, doing nicely. And above as well, another cluster of 3. And here we have another cluster. And I can see some inside. I don't know if you all can see that, but yeah, maybe you can see that shiny thing in the background there. Yeah, there's one, dead center. Very nice. Okay, please grow, cucumbers, please grow. Everything, please grow, big and strong. Yeah, this pepper here is really getting tall. Yeah, it was down here before, and it's getting quite tall. That's good, very good. There's Spunky getting his chlorophyll fix. That one's Spunky. Hey Spunky, how are you? So, once again, the volunteers are looking good. Yeah, I'm going to have to come in here and clip the grass. Everything else looks just fine. Just fine. Okay, I'm going to get the watering going. So I'll just set that there and let it do its thing for quite a few minutes. It's going all the way to the back. Then I'll reposition it so that the other side, the peppers, zucchini, and cucumbers will get a nice drenching as well. You can see my disco ball over there. So another look at the strawberries. And see something going on here, but that's not going to work. We do have new growth coming in here, so maybe we're not done after all. Okay, give that a nice cover. Yeah, I clipped the spring onions the other day, and they're already growing back. That's good. Get a few clippings off of those, I'm sure. So, a nice morning. Very nice morning. So I woke up very early, about 2 o'clock in the morning, and just stayed awake. Normally I wake up at 4, and did some things online, tweaked my channel a bit to make sure everything was public. Many of you have seen the vitamin D video where I was mostly naked. I had on my boxers. So, but that was done in December of 2019. I had no idea that there was no one, very few people knew that there was a pandemic coming. But I was urging everyone people of melanated skin to go out and get some nice sunshine for vitamin D. I take vitamin D supplements as well. And just get your sunshine, go outside and enjoy the outdoors. And just stay as healthy as you can. A lot of comments on that I see. As I'm out here in the garden, I can see comments coming in, so we'll see. I'll go in and answer them soon. Thank you all for being a part of my channel. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey of mine. I've been on YouTube since 2013, and about this time last year I started becoming more active and then slacked off. I'm not going to slack off again. So I'm in the kitchen this morning. I'm baking some banana, blueberry, and nut bread. 2 loaves. 1 round, 1 loaf. And earlier I also made up some chocolate chip raisin cookies. And this will be refrigerated for a few hours, for quite a few hours, maybe about 6 hours or so, or more, until I decide to bake them. So that's what's happening here in the kitchen. I've just cleaned up after making all of the batters and whatnot. So I like to clean up immediately, just to keep everything nice and neat. I'm going to clip some of this mint here and give some to my neighbors. Okay, that should make for a nice bouquet. So as you can see here, I have actually attached the 3 types of netting together just to wrap it around the corner here so that the crows can't get in there. They can't stick their beaks in there. So that should work. I'm actually watering these zucchinis, and I'll move the hose over now to water the upper level zucchini, the zucchini bed. And first, let me water the string beans. Notice this upper level dries out quicker than the lower level because it gets more sunlight. A lot of the water will collect in the bottom, so I don't want to give it too much. And I'll water this by hand. It's kind of hard to just let the hose lie there, because one section will get too much water. So I do this by hand. And I can tell when I see these puddles forming here, like here, and I know that it's quite soaked, so I don't have to give it too much. And since the water was running off there, I have to go inside, and the cucumbers need a lot of water. They're made up of, 95% water, so they need water every day. In the coming week, the forecast calls for rain, so I won't have to water as much. From here, I can let the hose just lie there. and water this end of the garden all the way in through as I go do something else. So I have these bamboo skewers here to test whether the baked goods are done yet. Stick them in. If it comes out dry, and yeah, that looks dry to me, then we should be okay. That's a little bit wet. So we have 9 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna let that go and finish naturally at 150 degrees. Let's make sure the ginger that I planted gets some nice watering. Okay, Spunky. And we'll give this a good watering as well. And of course the tower. Gotta be careful not to spray inside the house. Okay, the chores are done for the morning. And noticed here, this was Spunky when he was a little boy, a little baby, a little puppy, chewing on things as puppies do. So that's why these are all chewed up. He even once chewed on an iPhone of mine. He doesn't do that anymore. He's grown now. Well, I'm going to let this bouquet of mint soak in this water for a little while, so it doesn't dehydrate. And let's see how the baking is coming along here. Okay, what do we have? You can see the redness from the blueberries. Okay, I'm going to let that go for 4 more minutes. Well, the banana blueberry nut bread is done. And it's cooled for a while. It's time to take it out of the containers here. So this is what I do. Just make sure it's not too hot. It is. So, let me use a little oven mitt. Okay. I use a round of a baking sheet, and I'm going to leave it on there. Actually, no, I'm going to let that dry out. Okay. And just put that on there like that. This one should come out a lot easier. Yeah. So it's a bit hot. Okay. So you're probably wondering, what's Robert going to do with all of that bread? Well, one loaf here I give to a co-worker, and this one here I'll eat during the week, and it lasts for about 5 days. Of course, today will be the most delicious, but even after 5 days, it's still quite tasty. Okay, on to the cookies. Have a look. Okay, so the cookies have been in the fridge for about 6 or 7 hours now. And I've wrapped it in the cling wrap here. Of course, I'm not going to use it all, although I'm tempted. What I'm going to do is just cut a portion of maybe a third. So, let's see. Let's try that much for now. Set that aside. Now I'm going to make some rounds. So yeah, I'll cut these in half. That should give me 6 cookies. And I'll just make these into small circles here. Okay, so I changed my mind. I used about half the dough here, and I've made 12. I'm going to bake them in 2 batches, 6 in each batch. This way they should bake with enough space in between them. Shouldn't be too overcrowded. And if they touch, oh well, they touch. Okay, so in the oven they go. And while the others are cooking, I'm going to return these to the fridge to keep them cool. And this I'll save for another day. Cover this up, some cling wrap, and in the fridge it goes. And this can actually be frozen. So this I will put into a Ziploc bag just to ensure that I don't get any freezer burn, and we'll wait for the cookies to bake. Okay, both batches are done, batches 1 and 2, and you can see one cookie is missing because I had a taste, and they're delicious. Chocolate chip rum raisin cookies.